So, I'm at the venue for my event. I've been here on time since 9 o'clock, and in typical Nigerian fashion, the program hasn't started. So, it looks like I might have time, or rather, it looks like I do have time to make a podcast recording, and that's why I'm here with you guys this morning again today. Even though I put up a filler episode last night, just in case I couldn't make a recording today. So, last night's post, not last night's post, well, for those of you who follow me on Medium as well, the post that I put up yesterday garnered a couple of comments, and I thought one of them was really interesting, and that's what I would like to share with you guys today and discuss. Now, I can't remember the title of the post on Medium, but if you just search for me on Medium, my name is the same on whatever social media outlet or anything online you're looking at me for. The name is the same, Tavishima Ayede, Tavershima, and Ayede is Ayede. So if you search over on Medium, you should be able to find the article that I'm referring to. And it was a post about how when we're trying to build rapport with our customers, we need to stay away from topics that deal with sex, politics, and religion. Now, the thrust of the article was simple and I think quite straightforward. That when you're trying to build a relationship with your customers, you should be trying to build rapport, but sex, politics, and religion, especially if you look at it in the Nigerian context, are inherently divisive. So I can start off talking about how the Catholic Church has the fullness of faith, and I can get you ticked off as a Muslim. Or we can start off talking about the whole thing between APC and PDP, and I can be as, authentic in my opinion as I would like to be. But you can see that there are lots of potential minefields here, which is why in traditional sales theory, you are advised to stay away from these topics when it comes to building rapport. Because when you're trying to build rapport with someone, you're trying to emphasize sameness and try to build trust and atmosphere of friendliness and camaraderie. So that's the whole idea, basically. Of course, I put it there as a caveat in the article that it depends on what your purposes are, because some people actually do build rapport by doing things the other way. So if you have someone who is extremely right-wing or left-wing, and that's an inherent part of his brand or an inherent part of the business brand, then they have no problem with putting that out there in the world, on the internet, because the whole aim for these people, for instance, who are trying to promote business ideals or personal ideals that are extremely right-wing, the whole idea is actually to push away left-wing folks. So if that's the kind of business that you're involved in, that's minus your wedding business, then it would be a good idea to actually lean into these topics of sex, politics, and religion, because it will be to your benefit. Because the key thing you're trying to do in this case is to dissuade and to send away the wrong people, and then to strongly attract the right people. Now, one of the interesting comments that I received on the post was someone who pretty much said, what this caveat is, that it depends, and her opinion was that you ought to be flexible with these kind of things. And to that case, I agree. These things are principles, and so you have to play them by ear. But then she made a comment that was tangential, and that's what I want to address today. The comment she made was things shouldn't be so serious, and that life shouldn't be all about buying and selling of commodities, to which I agreed. But then there was something that I thought, but I didn't put it up on the post because I don't like getting combative on the post, and I figured I'd just make that the topic of the podcast today to sort of address the numerous money hang-ups that a lot of us have in society, which are not helpful to building our businesses successfully, and quite frankly, it's not helpful to us for securing our financial future and providing for those that we love. So this idea that life should be more about money or more about buying and selling is the idea that I would like to discuss today. So in truth, yes, life should be more about buying and selling, but people who espouse these sorts of ideas forget one very fundamental thing. And what they forget is that from the beginning of the world up until now, it is this very idea of buying and selling and commerce that makes it possible for you and your family to have the quality of life that you desire in the first place. So if you say to hell with buying and selling and commerce, and that's not all life should be, you're going to have a miserable existence. And that is because money is a means and a medium of exchange, and money buys and sells stuff, and it provides opportunities. So actually, if you think that life is about the experiences that you cultivate and not just buying and selling, that actually is the reason why you should lean in really hard to these sorts of things, so that you provide your kids, your husband, your wife, your significant other, your grandparents, your parents, your siblings, yourself, most importantly, be able to provide yourself the quality of life and the adventures and the opportunities that you do desire. So it is because life is important, and that we should pay attention to these sorts of things. Now, you will find when you start promoting your businesses or promoting your business ideas over on the internet, you find lots of people who come up with this whole thing of money doesn't buy happiness, life should be more than that, and blah, blah, blah. And that is true. It's just that it's not the conversation that we're having here today. Because one of the responses that I could have made easily was that, yes, it's true that life should be more about buying and selling. But the whole point of me starting this podcast, or starting my Medium handle, or talking about the things that I talk about on my Twitter account, is precisely so that we can discuss these ideas of buying and selling and personal development and business development. So that's the whole point. I didn't set up all my online accounts and everything on my internet space to discuss about the beauty of life in general. I set it up specifically for one purpose. So that's the whole idea, basically. So if you're one of those types who believes that money doesn't buy happiness, there should be more to life than buying and selling of goods and commodities, yes, I agree with you. And if you find the ideas that I put up on this podcast and ideas that people like me espouse, if you find these ideas obnoxious, then I think it's best for you to just avoid, because that's the whole point that's the reason why I set up this thing in the first place. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this gentle reader who made a comment on the post was being combative or antagonistic. I just wanted to address the hang-ups behind those sentiments, because I do get them a lot over the long while that I've been doing this. Well, the podcast has only been around for a year and a half, but my old blog ran for I think close to 2 years, and so I do get a lot of these sentiments and money hang-ups, and that's what I wanted to come here to address in the first place. And for those of you who aren't in the buying and selling space, you're not selling goods and services, you're not selling commodities, I would like to give you a news flash. Everybody is involved in selling something. Now, if you work for Zenith Bank, you are selling something. What you are buying and selling, or rather what you are selling, is your time and your expertise and your talent. So you are selling yourself. So it doesn't matter who you are or what you do. We can't run away from this reality that we are stuck in a commercial world, and money is an important driver, and it determines the quality of life, the adventures that we have, and the things that we can enjoy. So, in my own opinion, all these other conversations are important. Engage with them when you need to. Yes, engage with them when you need to, but really it's a separate conversation. The whole thing about acquisition of money doesn't mean that you are enshrining one thing above the other. So acquiring money doesn't mean you are demeaning human existence or demeaning other kinds of experiences, yes, that are available to humans. So let me put it that way. Okay, so we're close to the 10-minute mark, and I'll call it quits here. Thank you very much for listening to the Sales for the Nigerian Wedding Industry podcast. Thank you for your time and attention. Sorry for all the noise because I'm making this recording in the event hall while the setup is going on. So thanks for your time and attention, and I'll catch you guys at the next recording.